Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Subramaniam Masalamani. I am a Tamil. Today, my topic is In Search of Leadership Excellence Among Tamils. This is a two-part series, so take your time to listen and please send in your opinion, views, and criticism. A true leader may be defined as a product of nature who has the inner capacity to capture the universal energy that can attract, connect, and hold people together. Or a leader may also be defined as a person who can create emotional intelligence among people and direct them in desirable direction. How many Tamils are there who can fit these definitions? Why are Tamils such fierce competitors but poor cooperators? I have been struggling for the last 50 years trying to find one leader among Tamils whom I could follow, and there was none. Why is it that we are unable to produce at least one good leader? Therefore, let us begin to send our kids to leadership training so that we can produce a few excellent leaders. The Sinhalese proclaim that they want the war with Tamils. But then, why do the Sinhalese behave like the vindicated second-class subjects? They want to talk with us, but who among us are to talk with? None of them had the courage to say, let's talk. The Tamils must behave like world-class citizens, having the courage and greatness to sit and negotiate as equal partners. But we lack self-esteem, self-respect, self-determination, and dignity. They are in chains everywhere. Every morning when they wake up, they put on the chain of slavery and servitude themselves. There is an unknown fear in their faces. Why? That fear and the second-class mindset is the cause of lack of leadership among Tamils. Some people want to negotiate with the Sinhalese out of fear. That's not the right thing to do. My position is, instead of asking what the Sinhalese can give us, I will ask the Sinhalese, what is that we Tamils have to do to live with them? I do not want to negotiate out of fear, but I will never fear to negotiate. This is something Tamils have to learn. Stop being second-class citizens or as the vindicated. We are not second-class citizens anymore. There was never a war to lose. Killing 40,000 innocent people is not a war. It's the lowest act of barbarism. And it is a genocide. During the massacre, 180,000 artillery shells were fired and none hit the civilians, according to Savendra Silva, the Deputy Permanent Representative to the UN, who has advanced the art of deception and pulling wool over the eyes of the world. 20 million against 2 million is not a match, it's a walkover. Tamils are not mules, they are horses. The Europeans call them Teflon Tamils. Try to unite them, and they know how to survive as lone wolves. As the great Russian weightlifter Yuri Vasilov said, they work and work to reach a stage. In that process, they become self-propelling rockets. They want to enjoy that moment again and again. We say 40,000 was killed. UN says 7,000 was killed. Mahinda Rajapaksa says none was killed. Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa, did your troop carry the Bible in one hand and bread in the other hand when they went to war? If your military was unarmed, then how come the Tigers didn't kill them? There's a limit to ignorance beyond which it's called evolution. If these Teflon Tamils are the race of people we are trying to lead, then the leader be a really good one. We Tamils need a leader who has the conviction, courage, and confidence to tell Tamils and ask the Sinhalese what is the right thing to do. We must ask the Sinhalese what should or what can the Tamils do to live in Sri Lanka with dignity, freedom, and justice. Our next step will depend on what they say. One day, someday, they and us have to live side by side. We are ready. Are they ready? Let us show them that it is in their self-interest to live in peace. If they agree, then let us bring the United Nations to oversee and help us formulate a social contract and present it to the Parliament and give it the legal assent. This contract will give us the mechanism to deal with minor issues. If the Sinhalese majority do not agree, then we have a moral reason to ask for separation. I think, in my opinion, we have not done this. I am very certain we can work something out, because as individuals we get along very well within Sri Lanka and outside. But as social groups, we are arch enemies. Something is not right here. I think that people are willing, but the leaders are not genuine. We have leadership vacuum here on both sides, and also leadership vacuum everywhere in the world. Among the Tamils, we have been lacking leaders and leadership for at least 2 generations. We need a leader who has the charisma and courage to reach out to both sides and tell them all the good things, so that we have the mandate for a unified country. At this time, that fertile will is not on either side. Let us build that. We can have separate states, not separated people. We are all connected. Let me quote from John W. Gardner from his book, No Easy Victories. Leaders have a significant role in creating the state of mind of the society. They can serve as symbols of moral unity of the society. They can express the values that hold the society together. Most important, they can conceive and articulate goals that lift people out of their petty preoccupations and carry them above the conflicts that tear a society apart and unite them in pursuit of objectives worthy of their best efforts. If we ask among our Tamil population and among our presumed leaders, who is in charge? The answer is nobody home. There are people who want to be leaders, but most of them are what is in it for me people. Some of them even don't know what makes people and society. To know what the society needs and to articulate the intelligence of the people to achieve those goals is said to be the quality of a divine leader. In my lifetime, I did not see one or hear of one. They do not have the moral stamina to take the podium and listen to the people. They are not ready to listen, learn, and lead. People are willing, leaders are missing. Why is that we could not produce even one single leader? Where have all the leaders gone? Or have the field of leadership soil gone sterile? It's the people who produce the leadership. We had S.J.V. Selvanayagam, who represented the psyche of the people of the post-independence era. And then we produced Prabhakaran, a man needed to defend of the Sinhalese aggression. Now we need a leader who can guide us into the next stage. Tamils are no more people of Sri Lankan mentality. They are all over the world. And their understanding in the last 30 years have tremendously improved. To identify the values that will bring and hold them together is vital to the next leader. We have identified at least 4 groups that are trying to lead the community. But are these so-called groups understand the need and mindset of the modern diaspora Tamils? When we are producing university graduates at the rate of 15,000 per year, it's not an easy community to convince. The leader has to be a doctor of science, so to say, so that there is some edge in him or her worth looking up to. Since 1960s, the intelligent quotients of Tamils have multiplied several times in Sri Lanka and around the world among the diaspora since the Exodus. To have the exposure to some of the modern civilization is a blessing we got out of the Sri Lankan misery. How does this modern Tamil community communicate? The days of political meetings radio, television, and newspapers are all gone. This is how an investor put it. One day I went home and my little granddaughter stood on top of the 4-inch thick telephone directory and tried to use the keyboard on the computer. The next day I sold all my stocks in the telephone directory company. If you do not get the idea and the trend, then you cannot lead people. A leader must know where the society is, what it wants, and at least where it wants to be in the next 10 years. How does one reach the people today? They do so through social networking, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and very many. Now let me ask the 4 groups that are trying to lead the Tamil community. How many of you reach out and touch your people? Look, I'm not a 16-year-old boy. I'm retired. I use computers extensively. It's a new society. Tamils are not the Panangotes and Dosais anymore. That's what some people think. Why is that we don't see our leaders? Because they are not where we are. But we don't hear from them. They want to lead us, but lead us by being in the dark. They are scared to come out in the limelight. I took this task because I was fed up with our leaders from SJV, Selvanayakam up to now. Why are they scared to talk? I had never seen or heard Rudrakumaran, Emmanuel, Edir Veerasingham, and Sampanthan listening to people talking. When Mahinda Rajapaksa speaks, only racial venom comes out of his teeth. When Shavindra Silva speaks, his body language speaks so loud, we cannot hear his mouth speaking. Please, someone convey this message to him. Let me give a simple advice to my Tamil leaders. Dress appropriately. It is your attire, your facial expression, your body language are seen, heard, and felt louder than your voice. Please, cut your hair, shave, put on a 3-piece suit. Tell the audience that we belong to a group of civilized people. Let's talk more about our leaders. We knocked on several doors. Nobody home. In modern terms, our emails neither returned nor replied. Why? Our leaders are living about 10,000 years behind. When the world functions on nanoseconds, these people are living in the dinosaur era. In 10 years, people will ask, what is a telephone? Today, the telephone is a mobile information center and a weapon of mass destruction. I can, at my low level of cyber knowledge, reach 4,000 people in 1 second. Early bird gets the worm, right? A man with a computer, a keyboard, solar panel, and wireless internet connection is going to penetrate the impenetrable empires. This will end the first part. The second part will continue in the next video.